Hi, everybody. It's really nice to see you all. I want to show off my gift from the Ukrainians, right? Thank you. Whew. These events, particularly the European Leadership Summit, is usually the one that is the most moving for me. It means so much to be doing what we're doing, and to do it in Europe, do it in the United States is sort of like, yeah, we get it, you know. We can put the costumes on and we can play, we can do the things. In the United States, it's just vast. But what you all are doing in the part of the world that has its own challenges, its own political friction, its own religious challenges, its own border challenges. You've got, to me, bigger challenges that I do in the United States. And I'm usually really inspired, as I have been this time. And that's why I'm so touched by this from the Ukrainian team. They told me a story last night that really reminded me of why I do this and why it is really important for you all to do this. And then I want to go through a list of some of the leadership principles that I just want to remind us of. They told me how they were at Burning Man working to put together their art in their camp. And the OSS, the water services, hadn't come yet. And who do you think helped them? The Russian team. And I really, And I really want to remind us here that we are, despite what some of our politicians think or say, that we are one big globe of humanity. And that Burning Man is not political and it's not religious, and we go beyond borders. And we're really here to help one another, and we're here to help those that aren't burners and they aren't just like us. Because we know that what Burning Man culture can do is give people a sense of change, give people a sense that the world is bigger than themselves, and really connect with people one-on-one. That's the most magical experiences. Last night, when I arrived at the party and I heard it was fabulous and I was going to move around, and I went into one room and it spoke to this team for an hour and a half. That's what means something to us, is to feel what we're doing and have it reflected back on us. And I was inspired by an hour and a half conversation with a group that's telling me their story. One of the parts I liked was that they said, so we're going to do this event, and we're going to tell people about Burning Man, and we're going to have people in a little auditorium, and 500 people wanted to come and hear the story of what Burning Man is all about. And not just Burning Man Black Rock City, but to hear how Burning Man culture can exist anywhere. And they also told me that, he said, thank you. And I said, well, for what? And he said, well, our government now believes in us and trusts us, and that believes that we're artistic because of the work that you're doing in the world. And they've received a grant for an art project from the Ukrainian government. So I really like thinking about the history of what we've been doing here in general, and I mean the here in the global way. You know, it started from a seed in San Francisco, and then it's moved across the world. But sometimes the last group to sort of come online is the group that then gets the benefits of all the work that we've been doing. So each one of you that are doing the work that you're doing, and the challenges you have in your government, and the challenges you have in your media, and the challenges you have interpersonally in your community, the rewards of you accomplishing and working through them are absolutely going to be felt downstream. And I want to encourage you to continue to lean into those challenges and learn from those challenges and share your learnings. One of the things I was thinking of as I came here this morning was that I wanted to talk about the Ukrainian group, because clearly they're reaping the rewards of all of the challenges before us. They're going to be able to, grow faster, and they're going to learn about leadership faster because we're here, each one of us, and then they'll be able to teach the next ones that come online. And one of the next ones might be Romania. I was in Romania in October, and the Romanian group the burners didn't know each other. Megan knew of one person, and he gathered what became about 12 people together, and of those 12 people, 5 had already been to Black Rock City, but they didn't know each other. And now I'm on a WhatsApp group with 25 people, of which 3/4 of them are coming to Burning Man this year. And they're all excited about how they can come to Black Rock City, but then there are artists on that group that have already said, well, we know it's something more than that. So I look forward to the telling and the sharing and so on, because, you know, for some of you that have been doing this for 10 or 15 years, it's like, yeah, I got it, we're doing it, we have our struggles. But your struggles, the stories, the events like this where you're sharing your experiences with each other is more valuable than anything I can ever do at this point. What I'm doing is really encouraging you to be your best selves, to share with each other, to go beyond the borders, and to really remember something that I thought was interesting. Yesterday I was interviewed by a woman from the Aarhus television, and she said, well, you know, what do you have to say with the Denmark, the folks in Denmark, the people in Denmark are shy. Maybe we don't want to wear, you know, all the things that you all wear. And she said, you're pretty, you know, the Burning Man people are pretty, and I said self-expressive. And she said, yes, and we maybe aren't so much. And that made me really think for a minute that often the feedback about Burning Man, certainly in the United States, people give feedback a lot about drugs. And, you know, that's just the story that the media wants to tell because it isn't about drugs. And then the next story that they like to tell is that, it's funny, Burning Man, people in other parts of the world say that the Burning Man people don't stop talking about Burning Man. It's not true, and let me tell you what I really think about Burning Man. And then the other one would be that that ourselves and our personalities are hard to come forward and connect with, which is a version of what she was saying. And particularly the last two gives me a lot of food for thought. I think it's really clear that you don't have to go to Black Rock City to be a burner. I met a woman last night, Jane, who produced the party. Yeah, is she here? There she is! And you said you hadn't heard, you didn't know about Burning Man a year ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. But, you know, you brought together 100 volunteers for that fabulous party last night. And probably most of those people have never been to Black Rock City. But what was created by my own experience was very much like Black Rock City. Oh, yeah. Right? So I really want you guys, when you go out into the world, I want you to sort of think and reflect that the gem of who we are is not always what it really looks like to you. It's not always the folks that might be dressing like you. It's not always the playful ones. It's not always the obvious ones. That people are looking for a way to be real and to live their lives and to give them an opening just to connect. And then to give them a creative opportunity, usually, to sit and craft together, we know that, to gather in a community space, in an open place, together, and storytell about what's meaningful. To do things like Burners Without Borders type projects, to experiment with government ideas of governance, and to gather people together that may not go to Black Rock City and give them the chance to tell their stories. That this is how the cultural storyline of Burning Man and what is the Burning Man culture, and not just Black Rock City, is going to move. It's up to you guys to be ready to tell the story. Megan, we didn't do anything this time. Thank you. Yeah, we didn't do anything this time related to the leadership values, right? I know that we did that in Barcelona. I'm not sure if we've done it in. Squishell, did you facilitate that all this time? The leadership qualities. So I just want to walk through real quickly. I've got 58 seconds, and because yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Another minute or two. Halfway point. You're done now. Were you the enthusiastic person that gave the prince his time the other night? Yeah. I sent him an email and I apologized. I told him that you were a very enthusiastic volunteer. And he said he was okay. So I want to go through this list really quickly. So maybe you haven't heard this list in a while. I will work to speak more slowly since I've been given a little bit more time. And I know that English is a second language for a number of us here. Sometimes it's my second language. I'm not sure the first. So these are leadership qualities that I think maybe in the next ELS, it'll be time again to sort of have a conversation around them. It's a really great way to have these in a workshop. And we use them inside the organization now to sort of ask ourselves, what is it we're looking for in each other? And we often do it now out in the world with the regional network. And when we're hiring someone, now we actually ask essay questions that include some form of these leadership qualities so we can learn more about people. So one of them is inspiring. A great leader inspires others. Collaborative. A great leader collaborates with all key stakeholders on any issue. Active listening and communicating. A great leader actively listens to others' ideas and communicates timely and important information. I really think thinking about communication is a super key. Remember, there's others besides yourself that are working to create Burning Man culture in the world. So take the moment to explain to them what you've learned, why it's important, what are the qualities of what you've learned to carry on to the next project or group. Accountable. A great leader is accountable, reliable, and follows through on commitments. Self-aware. A great leader is self-aware of their abilities, development, and communication. That one's often really challenging because we think we're self-aware until we do that thing that then nobody quite gets why you just did it. And then being available for the feedback is super important. And I know some of you in your own communities have really evolved in that regard, but it's something that's taken a while for the Burning Man organization because we came up and we worked so hard, and then to realize we'd done something wrong or hurt the feelings of others took us a long time to really be like, okay, I'm open to it, it won't hurt. The self-awareness and the feedback from others is really valuable. Patient. A great leader is patient with themselves and others. Appreciative. A great leader shows appreciation to everyone who contributed to a particular project or idea. Remember that one. Just a little bit of appreciation goes a long way. Oh yeah. Act with integrity. A great leader has personal integrity and is honest, ethical, and professional. It is so hard sometimes. We're in the groove, we're letting loose, and what is professional starts to look a little different. But if we're at a Burning Man related event and we're in a leadership position, that is the best and first time to remember showing up. To be representative of the culture is more important than having another cocktail. And boy, have we learned that in our world. DPW, right, Logan? What Coyote used to say, we don't go to sleep, we pass out. Yeah, we don't wake up, we come to. I was like, okay, Coyote, we're going to work on that one. And he did. I mean, the DPW is a much different place than it was then. And for a while, that was the way to be, and that's how we got there. Emotionally intelligent. A great leader is in touch with their emotions, strengths, weaknesses, drives, values, and goals, and recognizes their impact on others. An emotionally intelligent leader also displays empathy for others. Comfortable in the gray areas. We've talked a lot about this one in the organization, and sometimes it's the hardest one for people that are out in the world, and it's either yes or it's no, or it's right or it's wrong, or it's black or it's white, or it's a rule or no rule. But I think with Burning Man, that's what we're doing, is creating new rules and new language and new pathways. So you need to be comfortable in the gray areas. A great leader has the ability to navigate issues that do not have a clear-cut solution by using intuition, collaboration, and mindfulness. Looks for great benefit versus the immediate goal. A great leader is focused on the maximum benefit for the community as opposed to the personal or short-term gains. We've got 5 more. Perceives the big picture. A great leader is focused on seeing the largest possible perspective of any particular project and communicates this vision to others on the team. Leading by example. A great leader is someone who leads by example and is not afraid to get their hands dirty in the process. I frankly have seen that done so well out in the regional community. Leaves ego behind. A great leader is in it for the greater good and not for the personal gain. Right? It's not about yourself. It's not about how others see you as that great leader. If you're feeling too powerful as a great leader, that's the time when you should step out of the way and let someone else take the front stage. This always makes me nervous being up here, and I'm always feeling that I've been asked to do this job, and when it's not my turn anymore, I have to be ready to step away. Leads outside of the organization in the community. A great leader is one who embodies these values, even when they are not on duty. Open to new ideas. A great leader is someone who is open to new ideas. Curious. A great leader suspends assumptions and judgment and brings inquiry and curiosity into everything you do. If I hadn't walked into that white room last night, if I had just gone around checking everything and I hadn't stood still, I never would have met this great group that's just jumped in front of me literally and said, "Hi." And that, for me, that made my whole evening. It's really easy for me to sort of walk into a party and feel overwhelmed and sort of stand over and get a glass of water and talk to whoever comes up to me. And I went and explored, and I was super curious. And that created the best moment for me in the evening. I lost the last one. Meow. Meow. The last one is meow. It's after curiosity. Fun. Thank you. Who gets the points today? Oh, camera girl and Stuart, of course. Fun. A great leader knows how to make work fun for everyone involved. Thank you, Stuart and camera girl. So I'm not going to go on any longer. I've taken my time and then a little bit of some other time. Which one do I get? Oh, I get 1 minute. Thank you. I get less. I'll take less than 1 minute here. So think about those, and if you want access to them, I believe you have ways to put them on Pathable so everybody can see this great document that, there's 17 of them, 18. People would normally say, "Oh, take it down to 5 or take it down to 6. No, we've got a handful here, and it really makes you reflect, and some of them reflect on top of each other. And by the way, we did do it using a collaborative process, so that's why they didn't get narrowed down. We stopped at that spot. I will wrap this up by just saying, being here in Aarhus has been very special. It's obviously a very creative city. The Radical Cities idea reflects back into each of us as citizens. And what we're really doing right now is going back into the world and being good citizens. We're Burning Man cultural citizens. We're citizens in our own communities. We're citizens in our own cities, in our own countries, and in the world. And so I shared those leadership principles so you can think about for yourselves, like, what does it mean to be a good citizen and a good leader and a good person? And we can embody those and share those with others so that what becomes a real Burning Man citizen, it really is the best person that each one of us can be. Thank you.